Namaste, I'm Dr. Robert, and today my subject on 5-ish Minutes with Dr. Robert is the 4 levels of speech. Because not all speech is spoken, or at least not spoken externally. It is spoken, but it's not spoken externally. The 4 levels of speech are Vaikhari, Madhyama, Pashyanti, and Para. And the concept of the 4 levels of speech goes back to the Rig Veda, in particular to Rig Veda, first mandala, hymn 164, verse 45, Chatvari Vak Parimita Padani. And it mentions that specifically mentions that only the 4th level of speech is actually spoken aloud. Now, those 4 levels are not possibly exactly the 4 levels that are taught in Tantra afterwards, but still the concept of there being 4 levels of speech was established early on. Vaikhari is externalized speech. It's what I'm speaking right now. It's projecting outward with the intention of being able to be understood by someone who is not you. So you're communicating to someone else. That's Vaikhari. And Vaikhari is centered at the throat, at the Vishuddha location. Madhyama is centered in the chest, at the Anahata. And Madhyama is halfway between Vaikhari, which is externalized, and Pashyanti, which we'll get to in a moment. Madhyama is how you talk to yourself. Madhyama is all about describing reality to yourself in such a way that you may be able to describe it to someone else. Pashyanti comes from the Sanskrit root drusha, which means to see. And Pashyanti, depending on who you talk to, sometimes is regarded as being centered at the Manipura, and sometimes is regarded as being centered at the Ajna. But both are important because both are involved with the fact of using speech in a visual kind of way, seeing the reality. Only after you have visualized will you be able to turn it into actual speech for yourself, and only then will you be able to turn it into speech for someone else. The 4th level is the subtlest of all levels, and that is Para, which literally means beyond. And that is located at the Muladhara, and that is pure intention. And Vimalananda emphasized repeatedly that Para is something that only the rishis can willfully speak in all the time. So what we're doing as we're using the 4 levels of speech is we're moving from the consciousness that is not limited by anything to the consciousness that's limited by vision, to limited by words, phonemes, and morphemes, and limited by our ability to actually externalize it. And we go in the opposite direction also, and this is the way we should be going if we're trying to make spiritual progress. We should be going in the direction of resisting the tendency to externalize everything that we say, start to be able to communicate with ourselves more realistically, more believably, more meaningfully, and more sincerely, move into the ability to actually visualize reality without having to chat about it in words all the time, and then be able to understand better our own intentions, and even more the intentions of the Supreme Reality, which is we are hopefully attempting to align with as we move forward in our lives. This is Dr. Robert wishing everyone a pleasing experience of the 4 levels of speech.